back to kind regards to the show. Yesterday, I slept in the van. I've got these blackout curtains and they block way too much light. It's like pitch black in there, and so we really rely on the alarm, and the alarm is not automatic. It's like a goofy manual alarm, so you have to click the thing up before you go to bed, otherwise it doesn't go off. So we forgot to do that. Woke up way late, felt super lazy, that sleep in, sort of lethargy was really strong. And well, I'd just written up this new routine that I'll talk about in an upcoming video about the power of sort of writing up new routines, but I'd just done this, and yeah, I was supposed to be really excited about like getting up, exercising right away, and then, swimming, stretching, breathing, meditating, and then having brekkie. Like, what a lineup. So exciting. I've done all of these things separately in the past, but I've lost track of most of them. And so I wrote this thing out last night, and I wrote up these cards and had it all organized, and I spent like a long time on it. Super pumped. Woke up that day, snoozy as hell, and I was like, this sucks. I don't want to do, any of this. And so it was a really strange thing happened, which is that I was walking up to the sort of grassy patch where I was going to exercise, and I just thought, there's no way, like, this is hell. I can't get in touch with what it will be like to do this. This is impossible. It felt impossible. And then after, I don't know what the first exercise was, I did burpees or something. It's like the program, my mental state totally transformed, totally changed. I was unrecognizable. I felt unrecognizably different to how I'd felt 40 seconds before. And I was just in exercise brain. I was just like, yeah, let's go. This is what I do when I'm exercising. This is, all right, what's up next? And I was doing this really hard stuff that is, it's by its very nature uncomfortable, and I guess like, not distressing, but like, yeah, it's bad. It feels bad to do this exercise, to put yourself under this stress. It's stressful. That's a good word for it. It's stressful work. And yet, yeah, so quickly into it, I was just in this new mindset, and it got me thinking about, I can't remember what it's called, maybe continuation bias or something. And the basic premise is that however we feel now is how we imagine we're going to feel deep into the future. So if we're really happy and we feel like really positive, we assume that, like, if we make plans or something, we assume that we're going to feel that way. In the future, we're like, yeah, of course I'll always feel this happy. And conversely, it's the same effect. So if we feel really depressed, the idea of making plans with like a person 2 days in advance, we're like, I don't want to see that person now, and so I'm not going to want to see that person in the future either. It might not be that clear in our heads, like that's spoken, but implicitly that's what we believe. And so, a depressed person doesn't make plans as if they're about to not be depressed. And similarly, a happy person doesn't make plans as if they're gonna, be heaps depressed, right? And this is a strange thing. And I think it's really important to like get a hold of this in our minds and really experience it. So keep your eyes and ears out for like when this happens to you, right? When you set yourself up like this. I set myself up really excited to do this exercise, really didn't want to do it. Oh, that's so interesting that I couldn't foresee myself being low energy and not wanting to do this. That's really interesting. And then also, and I suppose what I'm saying here is that we need to plan for both eventualities. We need to plan for high energy and low energy. If we're writing out a routine, it will pay dividends to write out two sets, right? One is like when I wake up and I'm feeling really good, and then put all the stuff in, half an hour meditation, go for a big run, like blah, 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 all this stuff that like you'll be pumped to do. And then what happens if I wake up and I feel like pure crud and I just feel terrible and I'm all crusty and horrible and I don't want to do anything and I'm just not motivated at all? What do I do then? Because I'm not going to do a half an hour meditation and I'm not going to go for a big run. So what's this bare minimum that we can plan for, even though we're really excited when we're making the plan, and we're naturally going to fall into this bias of thinking that we're going to be that way in the future. And so that's been really helpful since then, to be like, okay, this is my low energy morning. Okay, all I have to do is 30 push-ups. Just do 10, put the kettle on, do another 10, do something else, do another 10, that's it. That's my exercise done. That's really manageable. That's really, that's a plan that I can follow when my mental state is different. And then another strange thing is that when we're feeling really low energy, the transformation, of course we can't imagine ourselves exercising, because when you're exercising, you're not low energy. You can't be, because you're exercising, it generates all this energy. It generates, this thumping heartbeat, and, your body is in motion, you get all this blood to your brain. You can't, at least in my experience, I can't feel depressed or anxious when I'm 5 minutes, 10 minutes into exercise. It's impossible. My state just changes. The depression is synonymous with this kind of lazy bodily feeling and lazy mental feeling. But once I'm doing something strenuous, it disappears. And so it seems like a really good thing to recognize that, okay, I really don't want to do these videos. And today it was actually a bit like this. I also slept in today because we got to bed too late, and I didn't want to do these videos, and I kind of went you know what, once I start, how hard are they going to be? I'm not going to feel this reluctant when I'm 5 minutes into a monologue about something really exciting and something that can change my life, change other people's lives. I'm probably going to be transformed by this process. So let's just start the process. Let's get going, and let's see what happens. If it's terrible, I can stop. But I will probably be transformed by this process. I probably can't foresee how I'm going to feel. I probably can't actually see the future like this. And so let's just let the future play out by doing the thing that ought to be done, which is this thing. And similarly, when I was doing the exercise, same thing. 10 burpees down, and I'm I feel completely different. I couldn't have foreseen that. I couldn't have foreseen the mental state that was pumped to be exercising when I was feeling really low energy. And so, it's a pretty powerful thing to realize that it doesn't take much to change our states, and that once our state is changed, the whole world changes in response. The whole potentiality of me interacting with my exercise routine, me interacting with my breathing exercises, whatever, all of the potential changes transforms in front of my eyes simply because I've changed my state. And a final word on this from Tony Robbins, actually, and Jordan Shanks, who both sort of echo this point. Shanks, of course, from Tony Robbins, that being able to change your state is like a superpower. To be low energy and then realize that all it takes is 30 star jumps to be high energy is a superpower. That's crazy. If you don't know how to do it, you're trapped. You can be trapped in low energy. But if you do know how to do it, you can just change your state like that. Shanks, before he goes on stage, I'm pretty sure I heard him say this once, which feels silly, but it must be working for him. He's been doing it for a decade or more, selling out shows all over the country. He says that before every show, he jumps up and down and goes woo, and gets really hits a bunch of woos and gets himself excited by literally jumping up and down. And then he walks on stage and he's just full of energy, full of enthusiasm, and the crowd just instantly responds. If you walk out on, it's going to reflect in your posture, in the way your voice comes out, in the amount of eye contact that you make, how confident you feel and look. It's all going to be there if you're high energy and you're excited. And if you're not, people are going to feel it. And so in a stand-up context, that makes so much sense to me that we would do that. And then in our own lives, we can just do the same thing. We can breathe ourselves down into stasis, and we can also excite ourselves up into a really high energy state, pretty much on demand. And it feels impossible to get there. because our mind, because of this continuation bias or whatever it's actually called, our mind cannot conceive of feeling a different way than it is. But of course those feelings are there. Of course you can feel differently. Of course that. And so we just need to remember that fact in the moments that it matters. And then, even though it feels impossible, just do the thing that changes your state. Just pick up the phone and call your friend, and just do the push-ups, or just do 20 squats and feel your energy change. Just breathe yourself down into a state of calm and just get it done. The anxiousness perpetuates itself, the depression perpetuates itself. You have to cut it with a bit of willpower driven activity. Yeah, so that's kind regards. That's what's been percolating for me the last few days. Check out the articles on Substack or the Spotify. It's on Spotify too if you're watching this, and it's on YouTube too if you're listening to this. So please check the links below if you want to listen to it or read my stuff. Do it however's convenient for you. Thanks very much for listening. Thanks for watching. Take care.